Formation will begin as they make their way through turns 8 and 9, and down to turn 10 they will come. We're joined in the public address booth by the voice of this USF2000 series and the entire Mazda Road to Indy ladder, Rob Howden. Rob, this is an exciting start. 26 of these cars, and Parker Thompson, revenge time. It's time that he gets something done after getting punted at the start of race number 1.
You know what, these drivers all ready to get settled in here. And of course, tough one, of course, here for Parker Thompson as he got collected there. I'm hoping that they read the riot act to these guys last time we were here, of course, because these guys need to drop the hammer. It says time to get going for round number 2. And ideally, these the cooler heads will prevail. Let's put it that way. Hopefully, they'll learn their lesson and we can get through turn number 1 cleanly.
Well, the field's starting to form. They will get the green this time by Jordan Lloyd will bring the field through turns number 11 and 12 as they make their way through the east end of the course. The final turns 13 and 14, round 2 about to begin.
Here they come, ladies and gentlemen, getting set to go. Lloyd on the inside, Thompson on the outside, looking to go green as they roll their way down. It'll be Yufeng Luo and James Monroe on row 2. The green flag is flying. We have that coming. Tyler Wallace throwing the green flag for us here at start finish. Can we get through turn 1 cleanly? They got to get on the binders. Come on, boys, get through clean. Much better this time as the drivers figured it out. The drivers further back, kind of laying back. They know that the instant could be coming. So they are working their way through turn 1 now. Looks like we're able to get through 1, but of course 3, 4, and 5, Michael, it ain't done. Look at these guys. They're driving each other all the way down to the wall on the inside of the racetrack. Some defensive maneuvering early on here, and I guarantee the race directors are going to be discussing that as well. We got a piece on the racetrack here. That must have been from like the warm-up lap. I think it was like a chip bag, actually.
Chip bag.
Hopefully it's not carbon fiber.
I don't think they're carbon fiber chip bags, but a great start for Jordan Lloyd as he came down and really a lot better than the first round number 1 race, the start that he had there.
Drivers bobbing and weaving all the way back, doing some defensive moves to the inside. There's a move to the inside, too. That's one of the Pelfrey cars going to the inside of Dakota Dickerson. I think that's TJ Fisher moving to the inside of Dickerson. They'll drag race each other down over here to turns number 9, 10, 11. Look at these guys, Dyson. That's actually Jordan Kane beside Dickerson now. As Dickerson's getting battled here with the Team Pelfrey cars, they'll work their way out. Let's complete the opening lap as they come across the line. I'll run them down for you. Here they are. Jordan Lloyd is your leader. Parker Thompson runs second. Yufeng Luo in third. James Monroe in fourth. Anthony Martin fifth. Victor Franzoni in the sixth spot. Luke Gavin in seventh. Garth Ricard's eighth. Ninth is Philippe Ortiz. 10th is TJ Fisher. 11th, Robert McGinnis. 12th, Dakota Dickerson. 13th, Jordan Kane. 14th, Nikita Listoshkin. And 15th, Max Hanratty. Remember, McGinnis finished third in the first race. Didn't have the chaos to push him up to the very front this time around.
Well, we got a great battle there. I don't know if it was James Monroe and Anthony Martin, but right there for the 4th and 5th spot. Let's see how they fare through turn number 8. Don't see cars, potential contact. There they are.
No, you're right. I think we may have lost a couple cars. I'm not sure. I didn't see the white cars come through, Michael. I'm not sure. Because remember, that's a white car for Anthony Martin. Now I don't see Martin coming through.
It's a ladder into the field right here.
Yeah, that's true. This isn't the top end. That was Gavin, the first guy. They have a 7th place there we saw roll through. And again, we'll see them as they come back around. That caught us off guard a little bit here, but you're right. A pretty solid battle there for that position.
Saw Anthony Martin make a move to the inside. Caution on the speedway, caution on the circuit. So indeed, there was contact, we're assuming, there in the turns.
Well, you picked it up. You wanted to see that battle, and we lined them up there from that shot that we had coming out of the corner, and they just never appeared. And I think so. You were the first one on that one, Michael. Good pickup, but yeah, they did not come back around, so that could be the cars. We're watching them fall down the field here. Looks like Franzoni involved with that. Martin, Monroe, and Franzoni all involved. 3 drivers were running up there in the top 6. Talk about a shakeup, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you, we expected Anthony Martin to be a championship contender, Parker Thompson to be a championship contender. Jordan Lloyd right now looks like he's going to try to come out of this with 2 wins and see his primary title contenders with DNS.
When they went to turn number 4 and just quickly caught a glimpse of it, I believe, and this is just from the glimpse, and hopefully we'll get a replay, I thought Anthony Martin was trying to make a move on the inside of James Monroe. Victor Franzoni looked about a car length or 2 behind. As they made their way through, we saw them 2 wide, and as we get this shot from turn number 8, we lost not only Monroe, but Victor Franzoni and Anthony Martin. But Anthony Martin was being aggressive, had a nice run on the inside of I believe it was James Monroe in turn number 4. And unfortunately, we won't have an opportunity to see a replay of that, but Rob, if anything, those are 3 really good machines that we haven't seen the cars yet, but doesn't look like they'll obviously won't finish on the lead lap.
Yeah, we're trying to look around as we circle around the racetrack here to see if we can't see them in the wall somewhere or off the racetrack. I'm not sure if they've worked their way back to pit. Looks to me like Martin is back to pit lane, but I don't think Franzoni's still on the racetrack. So the number 9 of Franzoni's still on track, so he's able to continue at the tail of the field.
Looks like Monroe's still out there as well.
Martin's the only driver who's gone into pit lane to make maybe a little bit of a repair. So crazy start there, and again, these drivers being aggressive. At least they were able to get through the opening lap, which was nice, settling into a battle there. But again, I'll tell you, if this is going to kind of show us what we're going to see here this year, this is some pretty aggressive racing. We're seeing some aggressive defensive maneuvers, drivers coming out of a corner and diving down to the bottom and back out. And I'll tell you, our race director, Scott Elkins, is going to deal with that, because you're allowed one move. If you want to block to the inside, you got to stay to the inside. You can't set up coming back from the corner. You're not allowed to block. If you make a move, that's okay. Coming back out to the corner, that second move is what constitutes a block, at least in my mind. Of course, I'll confirm that with Scott next time I talk to him to make sure that we get things dialed in here.
Talk about the restart. Parker Thompson was the key there. And race number 1 did not have a very good start. Actually fell back to about 3rd, and as he swung wide, that's when James Monroe came in. That's when the contact happened. Parker was right alongside of Jordan Lloyd at the start in turn number 1. That helped keep the field through. It was that incident in turn number 1, and of course, I believe that the first restart we really had, Lloyd got the field too packed up, and when they got down there, they just spread out. That third restart was the key. It was a great restart, and boy, Jordan Lloyd hitting his marks right now. A great start to this race and really pulled out. Already had a 1.5-second advantage over Parker Thompson in the opening laps of race number 2 here in the USF2000 series. The High Tide Boat Lifts Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, presented by Andersen RacePark.
So, we have a new look top 10, obviously, because we have 3 of the top drivers get shuffled out here. So Jordan Lloyd still up top. Parker Thompson trying to do the recovery after what happened in race number 1. He's in 2nd. Yufeng Luo looking for another podium in 3rd. Luke Gavin, good run so far with him and that new connection with J Motorsports. Exciting to see what they're able to do here right now in that number 91. Luke was one of the top drivers last year. He ran the Soul Red car, the sponsorship from Mazda Speed last year. Garth Ricards for Pabst Racing. Remember, he ended up in the interior wall on the front straightaway, so I'm going to be happy to be in 5th right now in the number 22. Felipe Ortiz for Afterburner Autosport having a good run. The rookie up now into the 16th spot, or the 6th spot rather than the 17th. Are we going to go back to green? I think we are. Michael Young giving me the call. We are going back to green. Single file restart. They'll roll their way out of turn 14. Here they come to the line, and the flag is flying. Green flag flies, and down goes Jordan Lloyd to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll want to block to the inside. He'll be able to roll this corner speed, though. I think there's a lot of exit speed. Look, coming around the outside is Gavin. Luke Gavin in the number 91. Book it. He's able to get by Yufeng Luo. What a great start for Luke Gavin in the J Motorsports number 91. Luo went to the outside. He went to the inside. He went nice big run to the outside and was able to beat him to turn number 2. I love that corner. Oh, 3 Pelfrey cars side by side coming through turn number 2, 3, and 4.
You want to hold your breath for that. That was an amazing, for all 3 of those cars to get through the turn. And I tell you, Yufeng Luo.
Almost sorry, that's another almost wreck. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I was just back to the Yufeng Luo and Luke Gavin. They were still battling side by side through turns 4, 5, and 6. And finally, Luke Gavin gets around Yufeng Luo. But those Pelfrey cars were putting on a show.
TJ Fisher, Robert McGinnis, and Jordan Kane, they are throwing it around like they're back running go-karts again. They are side by side, drifting left and right. They are going hard. They better be smart, or this team is going to be working all night long, getting these cars ready before we go to the next race. Actually, luckily, this is the final race of the day for them. It could be a smoldering heap, and they're going to put it in the back of the trailer and take it back to the shop. This is hardcore racing here right now for the drivers from Team Pelfreys. They run currently 7th, 8th, and 9th, obviously benefiting from the incident between Franzoni, Monroe, and Anthony Martin.
Now Garth Ricard is starting to knock on the rear wing of Yufeng Luo, but a nice passage you would call Luke Gavin getting around Yufeng Luo. Luo battled back into turn number 4, but that time he was on the outside, not the place you want to be, but you do get that inside again, but a great job by Luke Gavin getting around.
Yeah, by no means did he give it up, though,
no.
did he? He wanted to come back and keep fighting for it, and to be honest, guys, the team Pelfrey driver on the move now is the number 82 of TJ Fisher. Fisher in that number 82 machine is really making a move. He was able to get by, I believe, Felipe Ortiz, the Afterburner Autosports rookie, to go up into 6th spot right now. Fisher out of Wilsonville, Oregon. Actually lives down in Vacaville now in Northern California. A guy that I've watched through the karting ranks. He's went over to Europe, did some racing there as well, but has planted himself here in the Mazda Road to Indy, and he is trying to step things up and is having a really good run there. You can see the Fisher on the rear wing up into 6th spot. Ortiz now going to have to battle it, I believe, with McGinnis. It's either McGinnis or Kane. Hard to figure out exactly which car that is right now, battling there, but again, here's your top 10. Lloyd, Thompson, Gavin, Lua, Ricard, your top 5. Fisher in 6th, Ortiz in 7th. As he cycled down through, we'll tell you actually who is up to the 8th spot. Indeed, Jordan Kane able to get by his teammate McGinnis. So Kane goes to 8th, McGinnis 9th, and the Cape Motorsports driver, Nikita Listoshkin in 10th. Dakota Dickerson in 11th, Isla Agron in the 12th spot. Clint McMahon again up to 13th. This guy, you know, is really looking good, staying out of trouble. Curly runs in the 13th spot. Hanratty in 14th, and here comes Victor Franzoni. Get ready, he and Martin not done yet. Franzoni back to P15.
That's good to see. We never really did get a good shot of Franzoni. That car damaged potentially to it, but a nice job by Victor Franzoni, and hats off to TJ Fisher, who had, didn't even get a turn done. He was out in race 1 early, so for him just to be running P6 right now, he's going to get as much as he can get. He's hungry, and be able to race in this race as successfully as he has thus far. Look for a potential big move from him.
And you know, we always talk, Michael, to guys that have been here before, their second year, and they say, you know, I come back and I remember what I did last year, and I can't believe I was so impatient last year. I should have relaxed more. That's what we're going to be talking to when we talk to James Monroe next year. Here's the driver out of New Zealand, an unbelievably quick young driver. We expected him to race for the championship. He could still do that, but he got over anxious and drove into the side of Parker Thompson in turn number 1 and started the first race, and he raced hard here for the second race with Anthony Martin. I don't know if it was his fault, regardless of what happened in that corner. We didn't see it, but nonetheless, he's going to leave here with 2 DNFs. So when he comes back here next year, I hope we'll have him back here next year, whatever it may be. It's USF2000 or Pro Mazda. He's going to say, you know what, I remember what I did there last year. It's not going to happen again. I want to make sure I get through the first couple of corners.
Well, we talked about Franzoni and Martin, both of those cars in that incident with Monroe. They've climbed to 13th and 14th respectively. Franzoni and Martin still on the attack. Isla Ogren will be the next that they have to contend with, but Lloyd doing a masterful job thus far. He, Parker Thompson, and Gavin, your top 3.
Yeah, wherever you're on the racetrack, try to find that silver number 9 and the white number 8. That's Victor Franzoni and Anthony Martin. Those drivers are going to start coming through the field. They're right now just 2 seconds behind Isla Agron in that white number 33, and they're going to do what they can to charge their way forward here right now. Looking for the battle as well between Dakota Dickerson and Nikita Listoshkin. That's for the last position inside the top 10. Dickerson a bit quicker than Listoshkin last time by, and he's only less than a half a second back. So look for that Soul Red car. Oh, there's a driver almost off. That's Martin. Martin overcooked it coming through there. Wow, Anthony Martin almost threw it off coming through turn number 14.
And James Monroe did notice him right in the middle of the field. He's 1 lap down, but I did see him roll about through the middle of the field. Not sure where I saw him, but he is in there as well. But as I had said, lap down.
Driver cycling the way through now 2, 3, and over here to turn number 4. Everybody settling into the run now. This is what we were hoping for early on in the opening race. Trying to give these guys actual race time in these USF2000 cars. There's a good fight. Stokes can do whatever he can to hold off Dakota Dickerson now. That's a pretty good scrap. Good, look at him stacking up behind these guys, just pushing so hard to try to find a way by here now. Franzoni has actually got to the rear wing of Isla Agron now. That's the battle for the 12th position. That's a pretty good battle. And there's Dakota Dickerson. You can pick that Soul Red car up pretty quickly. Looks like all 4 of the Pelfrey cars running together. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th rather. Oh yeah, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Fisher, Kane, Ortiz, and McGinnis. A sea of yellow there at the tail end of the top 10.
There it is. Well, can't say enough about Jordan Lloyd, though. He and Parker Thompson, obviously Parker didn't get a race in race number 1, but has already gapped himself 2.7 seconds, and Luke Gavin 5.7 seconds. Jordan Lloyd, we've been talking about these great battles in the back, but is putting on a clinic again in race number 2.
You know, when Jordan wasn't able to come back after last year, we had him for the first 4 races of the year. I was like, man, you know, we just lost a really solid talent. He and Anthony Martin were a good team at John Comiskey Racing last year. They would go back and forth. I think they would have pushed each other all year long. But you know what budgets are like. It's tough to be able to come up with the money to run. And Jordan did what he could to get the season started. Like so many guys do, if you go out, you might get some results. And you may find yourself with some extra sponsorships and people will come on board if you show success. He ended up going back home. When he was home, he was able to run the Australian F4 program, dominated that, and a scholarship to bring him back here to the Mazda Road to Indy. He could have went anywhere he wanted. He wanted to get back into the Road to Indy because he knows that if he wins here, like he's already started, he can find himself in Pro Mazda next year.
And that's one of the great things. You say, what a loss, what a talent that we lost there. To be able to see him come back, it's when you have those special drivers and you see those glimpses of brilliance. Remember John Comiskey Racing just getting started, and here he is running well. He and Anthony Martin both running well with John Comiskey, the new team, battling with the big dogs, this little team that could, and you knew there was talent there. To be able to see him back this year and achieving success like he has, it's been fantastic. How about that?
I want to think that's Yufeng Luo going back by Luke Gavin. Yeah. So Yufeng able to get a good run down the straightaway, and he throws the Paps racing car back to the inside, and he's able to take over P3 once again. So a good pass for Yufeng Luo after getting overtaken by Gavin a couple laps ago. So I'm going to give that kid props. That's also allowed Garth Ricard, the 22, to come up. So it's tough to pick those cars out. They're all black, but the 91 of Gavin passed by the 23 of Luo. And then right at the end of that all black Johnny Cash threesome there right now is Garth Ricard, the driver out of Pennsylvania, at number 22. This could be hardcore racing. I don't think we're done here at all. And then, of course, yellow, 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 yellow. Here comes Team Pelfrey again as TJ Fisher. Look at the lap times. Fisher's pretty quick there to 16.4. Just behind the Team Pelfrey cars, it is number 3 of Nikita Listoshkin, and the 2 Afterburner Autosport cars now run in 10th and 11th. The 2 rookies have actually a pretty good run here right now. Felipe Ortiz in the 17 and Dakota Dickerson in the number 18, 10th and 11th. And I know Dickerson do whatever he can to find a way by right now. He's only about a second back from Ortiz. He was right close at one point, but has fallen back a little bit, had a slower lap that last time by.
Well, Martin and Franzoni, they were making the charge, and once they got to Agren, that's kind of where things have stopped. At least that progression has stopped right for now. Franzoni and Martin now both by Agren as she's lost 2 positions. McMahon and just McMahon, I guess, and Franzoni Martin both got around Agren. Lap number 11, just finished lap number 10. Jordan Lloyd still in the lead, so Isla obviously holding those guys up, and they're able to get around. So see what kind of gap has transpired between Martin and Franzoni. Will they be able to get to Dakota Dickerson now and pick up a few more spots?
You know who I'm going to give some props to right now, because I think we need to. It's RGB Motorsports driver Clint McMahon. He is doing a fantastic job. Here's a guy who, as I said, came from SCCA Racing, the Formula 500 and the Formula 600 categories. You know, a great part of SCCA Club Racing. He's the kind of driver that you always saw at the runoffs, on the podium, winning runoff championships. Able to jump behind the wheel with these guys from RGB Motorsports, a brand new team this year, and he's up there running. If you look, he's running the same lap times as Franzoni and Martin, and was able to get by Isla Agren, who was a top 10 runner last year. So I'm gonna give Clint some props up here into the 14th position, doing a fantastic job here in the streets of St. Petersburg. New fast lap laid down by Yufeng Luo, as he's gonna see if he can't gap himself from Gavin. I don't think he's going to be able to reel in Thompson at this point here, but another podium finish would be great for Yufeng.
McMahon, as you had mentioned, race number 1 had a good race in race number 1. Got himself around all that melee.
He dodged and weaved.
Yeah, he did a very, very good job. So to be running where he is right now, currently running in the 15th position as Agren gets back around him. Martin and Franzoni still closing in on Dickerson. And as you had said, Yufeng Luo just putting down the quickest lap of this race as we are just past the halfway mark.
Yeah, in fact, Anthony Martin right on the rear wing of Dakota Dickerson right now. Not surprising. We expect to see the veteran driver stepping up. Of course, he's with Cape Motorsports, with Wayne Taylor Racing as well. They've won here many times before. So the veteran trying to find a way by that Mazda-sponsored driver, Dakota Dickerson in the Soul Red number 18. Laps winding down here a little bit here. How much time do we have left? Looking like about 12 minutes remaining here now.
good to see this race as green as it is, though. That first race, obviously, the opening round, everybody wants to get out there and get to the front as quickly as possible. We really had a tough time getting a long green flag run. After that second restart, it finally happened. But minus that small incident in the quick yellow, this has been a pretty clean race, and we've seen a lot of great passing, a lot of drivers making bold moves, but not too overly aggressive. That you're seeing that smart racing that we were hoping to see in race number 1.
It's all we can ever ask for. We have a driver around here. Look at driver around over, I think in turn, I want to say that's turn number 4 or turn number 5.
One of the Pelfrey cars, perhaps?
Either one of the Pelfrey cars or potentially the number 44, Finelli. It could be Finelli around. That's one of the national cars, or the number 44. He's a yellow car as well, because I can see all the Pelfrey cars still here in line. So I'm going to say that's probably Charles Finelli in the 44 who's gone around. Hopefully they'll be able to get him refired back up. But to speak to what you said there, Mike, all we can ever ask for is these drivers to get lots of laps, and that's what we're looking for. These kids need seat time. You know, we just need to give them time on the racetrack at speed, going wheel to wheel. And when we get those yellows and we're constantly circulating under yellow, and and then we have another restart when we have an issue, it's really no benefit to the drivers. They come down here to go racing.
And Nikita Listoshkin from Moscow, Russia, right on that rear wing of McGuinness, finished on the podium in race number 1. We'll see if Listoshkin can make a move. Really was being aggressive. It's fallen off just a little bit that time by. But as you had said, those Pelfrey cars running there, but Jordan Lloyd already 3.3 seconds out from Parker Thompson. And but for Parker, just to be able to be competitive, to be out in front here, if he can keep it together for the remaining 10 minutes of this race and get a podium, that's all he was hoping for in race number 1, and obviously taken out and frustrating. But to be able to race in this race and to be able to be by himself as he is right now, 3 seconds separate him and Luo, it's going to be a good race for Parker Thompson if he can keep it together. And we do have a caution out on the circuit. Not sure where it is, but our second caution of the afternoon in race number 2.
Yeah, I got to think they're going to have to go grab that car of Charles Finelli, the number 44, as he loops it around there. I'm going to believe it's Finelli, and we'll get him fired up. But just to, again, talk about Parker Thompson. Here's a young kid that's going into his second year in the series. With Cape Motorsports, and with that comes a lot of expectations. You're expected to run well, you're expected to win races. Pabst Racing turned things up, though, last year with Jake Edson. They've become a powerhouse in the program. It doesn't surprise me. Augie Pabst puts a great team together. He's got Tony's Katzemits there as well. Just a great squad with Pabst Racing, and it's not surprising we've had a couple of kind of powerhouse teams start to develop, especially when you get second-year drivers. And I think for Parker, just to be able to come back here and get a good run, to be able to put a good result on after what happened yesterday, that'll make him happy. He'll be able to take this, move forward, and then again we go on to Barber Motorsports Park in the middle of April for rounds number 3 and 4.
Speaking of Barber Motorsports Park, correct me if I'm wrong, did we not spend a little time with Parker Thompson that weekend? Did we have some time with him? Did he come up and join us?
I believe that might have been Peter Portante.
That was Peter Portante. That is correct. I couldn't remember who that was. Peter Portante had one of the best lines I think I've ever heard as a non-broadcaster, and I can't recall what it was off the top of my head.
It was something about a hot dog and being on a roll or something like that. I did a podcast with Peter Portante just before the start of this weekend. Peter's a good kid. Still trying to get a ride together, do some racing this year, and of course, just a guy that we like to have in the paddock. Really charismatic guy, always exciting to watch race as well, and hopefully Peter will get back behind the wheel. The Importante podcast, I believe, is what he called it.
That's very, very good.
we did have him in the booth at Barber
Motorsports Park. You talk about the difference between St. Petersburg and then rolling into Barber Motorsports Park. Yeah, they're both circuits, but completely different and more the traditional circuit that they will see. But for these drivers to be as successful as they are, everybody keeping the wheels straight in this one, this is a good outing for only the second race of the season.
Well, we always say that, welcome to the USF2000 program. We're going to throw you to the wolves. St. Petersburg. No, we're not going to give you a racetrack with any runoff or wide areas and you're okay. No, you're going to run a street course, and it's kick them out. You kick them out of the nest, they're going to fly. And the drivers learned, I think, at that first race, wow, that was not a good idea. This was bad. And I hate to see it happen, but it does, and they're going to learn, and away we go. The drivers are going to work themselves back out here again, folks, with 7 minutes remaining. The Soul Red Mazda pace car going to work its way into pit lane as we get set to go once again. This is going to be another opportunity for Parker Thompson. Here we go. They'll roll back out here. Thompson needs to get on the throttle. Can Jordan Lloyd hold them back? We saw a pass before. Down to the bottom of the racetrack again goes Jordan Lloyd. Let's see if Thompson goes to the outside, trying to make a move into turn number 1. Thompson way to the outside. He's going to roll the speed. Thompson, I think, is going to lead coming out of turn number 2. Indeed, he does. Parker Thompson to P1. Book it around the outside. Good start for Parker Thompson.
Boy, and Luke Gavin lost a position there. He was 3 wides. He, Ricards, and Kane. So Gavin moves back to the 6th position, but a great move and a great restart. Wow, 3 wide going into 4.
He just got eaten up. They are all over Jordan Lloyd, man, I'll tell you, and that's another learning experience. They are all over Lloyd right now. He's going to try to have to get things rolling back again. Parker Thompson goes to the lead. I want to say that maybe Luke Gavin up into the 2nd spot, although it could be Yufeng Luo. Hard to pick up those cars. It's a Pabst car. It's Luo going to the lead. Yufeng Luo puts the 23 to the front of the pack here in USF2000. And in fact, Thompson's going to go back a couple of spots because here comes Jordan Kane to the inside. I don't know what happened to Thompson there, but he is getting chewed up right now. Did he tap the wall or something? Because he led early, but now he's got another driver battling him like crazy. Parker Thompson took the lead. There's contact further back as well. That's Ricards getting into it. I'm not sure exactly who Ricards got into it with, but I'll tell you once they come across here. You cannot have that much action on the opening lap. How did he not hold on to the lead coming through? Luo goes to the lead. Lloyd 2nd. Kane 3rd. Thompson in 4th. Luke Gavin was the driver, got to the inside in turn 14 of Ricards. A little bit of contact there. Gavin goes to 5th. Ricards 6th. Fisher 7th. McGinnis, Listoshkin, and Ortiz your top 10. But Parker Thompson, a beautiful pass for the lead. How does he not control that coming through the next part of the circuit? He had the opportunity to make the good runs through there. He must have tapped the wall somewhere.
Must have. Jordan Kane was the guy I really kept an eye on in that restart. He started in the 4th position, was able to get Gavin. They were battling for 4th, 5th, and 6th. He, Gavin, and Ricards. And then Kane getting around Parker Thompson, as you said, down there in turn number 10. Great restart for Jordan Kane.
I can't believe the way that restart rolled out here. We've got 4.5 minutes remaining here as this one's coming to a close. Some further moves further back. I want to say that it's Listoshkin trying to go to the inside of McGinnis as well. So lots of great action here. But check out out front, Yufeng Luo as Pabst Racing runs 1-2. Lloyd got the win last time by, and Luo told us in the press conference he had a really close look twice. He was thinking about going by. We went, yeah, I don't think I have quite enough, and tucked back in. Here's a driver who's already shown the patience, the maturity. Let's see if it'll pay off with a victory here because Jordan Lloyd's going to start coming.
We talk about the restart. Lloyd and Parker Thompson did not let Lloyd get away, but Luo was right there as well. So as soon as those two started to battle, Luo set there in the right position. Oh, 2 Pelfrey cars right there.
Man, that is Fisher and McGinnis going at it for 7th and 8th, and Listoshkin went around both of them.
Listoshka back there has been dogging that pack of Pelfrey cars for a while. That was a great pass by Nikita Listoshka.
Yeah, they came out of turn number 1, and they kind of blocked each other to the right side coming to turn number 2, and Listoshka said, hey, it's all yours, guys. They were to the inside. He just powered all the way around the outside going to 3 and 4.
Well, that's kind of what Luo did. He kind of sat back, let Jordan Lloyd and Parker Thompson battle there, and Luo took advantage just like Nikita Listoshka did.
So as the time winds down, Luo your leader, Lloyd 2nd, Kane 3rd, Thompson now back to 4th after leading for just a brief time. Luke Gavin in the 5th position, Ricards in 6th, 7th is Fisher. I want to say McGinnis in 8th spot, Listoshkin 9th. Actually, no, it'll be Listoshkin in 7th after the pass. Fisher and McGinnis go back to 8th and 9th. A lot of action here in USF 2000, and that's the kind of racing that really typifies USF 2000 competition, that close side-by-side, because you have to slide these cars around to be fast, and that's what makes this so exciting. That's why it's been such a great feeder series, a great development level, especially with Mazda power, Cooper tires. It's given these guys exactly what we need, and we can't wait to have that brand-new Tatis USF17 car next year, a brand-new carbon tub car. These kids are going to have a blast in that race car next year.
With the restart, just to let you know, Anthony Martin, Victor Franzoni, they will run 11th and 12th respectively, but have made a nice recovery from that incident early in this race.
So time winding down, just 2.5 minutes remaining. You got to figure we're going to be maybe 2 laps from the end of this one here. Yufeng Luo leading by about 0.8 of a second, looking to grab his first ever USF 2000 race win. It'll be a party up in Wisconsin, I'm telling you, in Elkhart Lake. If Pabst Racing can win a couple victories, I wouldn't mind being at Siebken's tonight because they'll be having a good time if Pabst Racing can get a couple of victories.
How about Jordan Kane? Not enough can be said about the run that he has had in this race number 2. Really did a great job getting himself in that position as we watch that Jordan Lloyd machine and caution on the circuit. We have a caution with 1:50 left in this race.
Yeah, that'll checker this thing here. I would expect we'll see the checker next time by. Everybody's settling it down. So for all intents and purposes, ladies and gentlemen, that yellow is going to end this race as we only had, I believe, 1.5 minutes remaining. So Yufeng Luo is going to win. Trying to see who's falling down the order here right now. Looks like Dakota Dickerson potentially involved in this one. Indeed, Dickerson falling down the order. Tough weekend for Dakota as he's involved here. There's the number 18. You can see it. Trying to see what kind of damage we have on the car. Oh, there's big damage on the right rear. He's already out of the car. So right rear damage for the Afterburner Autosport Mazda Speed Soul Red car for Dakota Dickerson.
Right there in turn 5. And
Yeah.
they get really racy down in there. You can get too wide and run too wide through 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's tight, but it can be done. It looks like that might have potentially got the best of Dakota Dickerson.
Right rear like that, like maybe somebody might have gotten in the back of him and looped him around and as he went around, tagged out the outside wall. Not going to be able to get a replay on that one there, and of course Dakota will get him to fill us in a little later on. But nonetheless, folks, we're going to see the checker, I would believe, here fairly soon. Unless they try to go back to...
I think that Homatro safety crew is working to get Dickerson's car out of the way. We still have 30 seconds left in this race. If they can get around, we'll see if the pace car pulls away. Oh, now the safety crew's still there. It looks like they've got it all cleared up. The Dickerson machine's out now. The safety crew not in the hurry. They hustled back to the truck there, and I thought, hey, we might go back to green, but looks like this event may be over, unfortunately.
Let's not speculate right now. Obviously, the lights are not rolling in the pace car right now, but I don't think we're going to go to green because obviously the Homalcho safety crew, as you said, not in any hurry at this point here to get out of the way. Time has run out, at least on the ticker we see on the big screen and on our screen here. Unsure of what's going on in terms of... Yeah, there it is. Checker flag at start finish. And this race will end with the victory for Yufeng Luo in the number 23. Jordan Lloyd in the number 21 going to take over the second spot. 2 podium finishes for him. Much heralded Jordan Kane, the young driver, only 15 years of age, in the number 81 for Team Pelfrey. His first podium in the series. Parker Thompson in 4th spot and Luke Gavin in 5th.